So what I'm going to be showing you is morning routines, daily planner. So the exact daily planner that I use to plan out who I'm waiting on, who I need to reach out to, what my priorities are. Then I'm going to go into traction, building quarterly rocks. And then I'm going to go into project planning using impact filters. So this is the most popular thing that I got tons of emails about. And as we're waiting for Jarrett to come back on, we're going to go back deeper into your questions. So make sure you guys stay on. And I promise you, in the 15 or so minutes of me sharing this with you, just from my historical experience, you are going to not regret listening through me sharing with you. I'm going to get vulnerable too. I'm going to show you some secret goals and things I write down every day that I haven't shared with a lot of people. So what I want you guys to do, you guys all received an email for our Lawyer Internet Marketing Bootcamp, which starts at 4 p.m. today. We already have almost 100 people who RSVP'd for that. So make sure you guys RSVP. We're trying to keep it tight. I'm going to put this in the link. Looks like Emily and I just shared it. On the Internet Bootcamp, we'll go into how to pivot your marketing strategy to get calls now in the COVID world, and then how to set yourself up for success post-COVID once this quarantine lifts, which could happen sooner than we expect based on the disease trajectory, as they call it in medical terms, and a lot of the positive stuff going on in the stock market. So I'm going to show you some stuff. This is actually pulled from the notes in my phone. I'm going to share my screen real quick and show you guys my morning routine. And I've just found this is so important to be clear on. And right here, this is what I have in my notes every morning. And I've been extra diligent with how I manage my daily routine. So 4:45 a.m., this should say 5:30 now because I'm doing 5:30 a.m. now. First thing I do is I smile. Then I take a deep breath. I put my leg over the bed, and then I go take a pee. So like, I'm noticing it is so freaking important now that there's so much craziness happening around us that we need to like go back to the basics and the simple things. So the first thing I do as soon as my alarm clock goes off is I trigger myself to smile. And I know some of you guys are probably, what the hell? Why are we talking about this? I'm telling you, it is important to express gratitude first thing in the morning, especially right now. Express gratitude. Smile for the fact that you're getting to spend time with home. Smile for the fact that you're a lawyer. You're not, the owner of a sports team or an event, organizing business. Be grateful for the fact that you are, you're one of the least impacted industries, at least long-term systemically. There's not going to be a 2-year bounce back for all practice areas. It's going to be a short bounce back. Next thing, floss, brush teeth, dog out. I have to take the dog out to go pee. But most important thing for me is meditation. So I use an app that's called Headspace every morning. It usually takes me around 15 minutes. I use the acceptance pack within it, which teaches me to accept my thoughts, my sensations, and basically everything I'm experiencing right now rather than fighting against it. And then I stretch and I work out. So the way I've pivoted my workout routine is now in the morning, instead of me going to the gym, I'm doing a cardio workout, and then I'm doing a full body stretch routine. Then I have a very funny habit where I pace back and forth in my house and I read my major definite purpose statement out loud like a maniac at 6:30 in the morning, and my neighbors probably think I'm, on crack or something. But regardless, I read my major definite purpose statement out from the book Think and Grow Rich. I know I have the ability to achieve the object of my definite purpose in life. Therefore, I demand of myself persistent, continuous action towards its attainment. And I here and now promise to take such action. And I can send you guys this in a follow-up. And then, I get ready from there. I write down my goals, which is going to go into the next thing. So basically, I'm going to stop sharing for a second and show you guys this. I write down all of my goals and gratitudes every morning, right? I write down everything I'm grateful for. I break down my goals into health, relationships, spirit, and wealth. And then I write my life's purpose which is to improve belief systems by pushing myself and others to the edge of our circle of competency. And I write that down every morning. Why is it so important to be clear on your gratitudes and clear on your goals? Because there is so much volatility happening right now that you have to put a stake in the ground and commit to reflecting on the things you're grateful for and the goals that you're setting, and especially the goals you set before all this crazy stuff happened. So write down your gratitudes, write down your goals every morning. And the truth is, the bigger your goals are, the more grateful you need to be. Because as you set big goals, you have to balance your larger goals with larger gratitude, because you accumulate more things as you become more successful. Thank you, Roger. Yes, I used to eat a good breakfast 2 years ago, but I've transitioned to intermittent fasting. So I actually don't eat usually until around this time, around, noon Eastern time. But regardless, I write down my goals. So this is the one thing I wanted to show you guys, is this is a must for me. I've probably skipped a couple of days, writing this down, but it's very, very rare. And guys, we're going to get back to your questions, so keep them coming. Again, we're waiting for Jarrett to come back, and I had this prepared. Again, I think the PPP loan is great, but if you can't manage your mind and you can't manage your days, the PPP loan is just going to be a temporary blip to a downward momentum cycle. And I want the opposite to happen. I want this virtual world that we're in to propel you to build very strong habits within yourself that then carry beyond this when the quarantine is lifted. So we're going to have a surprise guest coming up. We just had confirmation, so stay tuned for the next 7 to 10 minutes. Seth just worked that out. We're having a lot of hecticness happen behind the scenes right now. The next thing, this was like incredibly popular last time, and this is how how I schedule my days. So check this out. This is what we call the SMB Team Productivity Planner, and I got like 90 emails last time I showed this. So every single morning, if you guys can see this, I write down what are my top 3 ongoing projects. Now, guys, like, you're probably tuning out. You want information about PPP or whatever. Okay. This is so freaking important. Like, if you don't know what your projects are when you get this additional capital and you work through, all of the kinks of the PPP process, like, you are going to go into an abyss. And this is what I do every morning. I write my top 3 projects out, right? I write what are the 5 biggest moves I have to do to move those projects forward, right? So right now, one of my biggest projects is these webinars. So I would write in here something like, webinar number 4, get 2,000 attendees, 5 big things I must do to move this project forward. Right here, I'll put find speakers, right? I would put in bullet point number 1, I would put find speakers. Looks like this is an
and Bill, while you're doing that, one of the things I'll do a shout out back to you. Why I find this so important is this PPP thing has been more of an emotional roller coaster, and you get taken off it. What Jay had happen to him, what we've had happen with our bankers, and to have something to come back to, so you don't let that emotion take you and waste the time with nervous energy. That has been why I find these project-based goals and getting things done to bring you back as important as the normal roadmap that it would be in a more certain time.
Absolutely. Yeah. And this is the best time to build those habits. I appreciate you saying that, Seth. This is an attorney with 40 attorneys under him at his firm. He's finding ways to do this, to manage the madness. And right now, the project should shift quicker than usual, right? Your projects you had a month ago actually are different. One of your projects should be creating a clear PPP loan forgiveness spending process for your firm. So that would be a project. You'd write that in here. Make 100% sure I get 100% of this forgiven. Here's what I need to hit. Here's the numbers I need to hit. Here's how I'm going to do it. Then after I write my projects out, I write the people I must reach out to every day, right? So these are musts, right? Then the next is, who am I waiting on, right? Who am I waiting on a response from to move the projects of my life forward? And then lastly, these are the musts, right? The key word here is must. What must I complete today, no matter what, right? And when something gets put on this list, I always feel anxiety in a good way, because I know if I put something on this list, it will frickin' get done. So I am very, very wary of how many things I put on this priority list. And sometimes the funny thing is, the biggest priorities take the shortest time. They're uncomfortable things, right? You got to make a decision. You have to call someone you've been pushing off calling to tell them something. You have to, you know, make a hard decision to let someone go, or to, you know, perhaps do something that you've been pushing off. So this productivity planner has changed my life. And if I stop sharing my screen real quick, I'll show you guys. So basically, the front of it, I didn't do it fully today because the days of the webinars, I'm like freaking out trying to get everything put together. But basically, you know, I'll fill this out, and on the back of it is where I write all my gratitudes and goals every morning. So super important for me. The next thing, which has been super popular, is me sharing how I do project planning. So once you know what your projects are, the next question beneath that is, how do you go deeper into what the steps that are required to get that project completed? Well, I'll show you that. Check this out. I'm going to show you my impact filter. So basically, whenever I have a project, someone like Seth and Jay, these were idea people. A lot of you listening right now are idea people and not as much executors, right? And the important thing becomes, how do you communicate your ideas in a way that has a clear outcome? So I religiously use this for everything that I do. For example, I did this for the webinar that I'm holding right now. Webinar Mastermind number 4. The purpose, what do I want to accomplish? Inspire 1,000 attorneys through COVID-19, right? Now, this becomes the mission statement, a mini mission statement for the project, so that when you communicate it to your team, you are communicating something that has a purpose versus something that Seth just wants to get done, or something that Jay just wants to get done. There's a meaning behind it. Here's what we're trying to do, guys. And I will be happy. One thing I got this from Strategic Coach, which is a training, entrepreneur training organization that I'm in. And basically what I do here is I always tell people what's going to make my blood boil and what's going to make me high five them, right? So I always say before a project starts, if this, and this happens, you're going to have a not so happy bill. But if this, and this happens, i.e. your success criteria, you're going to have someone high-fiving you and giving you a bonus and giving you a raise, right? So I'm always clear, because a lot of times we enter in the projects, which, you know, just to be transparent with you guys, Seth, Jay, and myself, we entered into doing these webinars. We didn't really do this for the first few webinars. And now we're trying to organize, what the heck do we do? We have thousands of lawyers showing up for these things because we didn't plan in advance for this. And so not everything you do has to go through a project plan, but once the dust starts to settle and you start making sense of these new initiatives you do in your business, it's so important. Literally all I do is I'm going to show you guys something, my full list of these. Ready? I have an entire organizing system of impact filters in my office. So anytime I have an idea, you can see all the impact filters here, right? I've trained myself, because I overwhelm my staff with ideas of what's going to happen next. I train myself, whoa, take a step back and identify your idea and tell the team what's going to make it successful and what's going to make it not successful. So I write it out, and then we have the 24-hour rule in my company now, where it's like I'm treated like someone in a straitjacket at my company, which it should be. I need to be managed, right? That's why I have these tools. I have ADD. I'm all over the place all day. Like, I need organizing people on my team. I need tools. I need to write my goals out, or I'll start thinking about goldfish or something, right? I need to identify my thoughts in a clear, crystallized way, or I just stress out everyone around me and think that I'm inspiring them and think I'm, yo, what about this new idea? What about that idea? And meanwhile, you know, my team's trying to get stuff done, and I think I'm inspiring them with the next big ideas. And, you know, I leave the conversation and they're rolling their eyes saying, oh, that's Bill again. So, you know, this is the way, as an entrepreneur and as a business owner, most of the people tuning in are lawyers who own your own business. You have to organize your thoughts in a way where you can hand a prescription to your team and say, guys, this is what I want to do. This is why I've invested so many resources towards these webinars, because I'm getting a freaking high from it and helping people, right? And my team is seeing that. And if I wasn't communicating it, and this is just Bill's show, right? And I wasn't telling them, hey, look, we're looking to inspire 10,000 attorneys. We want to inspire 12,000 attorneys to double their practices in 48 months as a result of COVID, right? Now the game is much bigger, okay? So the last thing I'm going to go into is traction. Oh, I also did this, by the way. I also did my project planner, which I'll show you again real quick. And guys, I'll email you this afterwards. I did my impact filter for our COVID ebook, the COVID ebook that we did, which a lot of you guys probably don't know. SMBteam.com/coronavirus. Like I guess it's 3-4 weeks ago now. I decided to write a book on how should lawyers respond to coronavirus with their marketing as a lead generation tool to get a lot of leads, which then now has 4 weeks later turned into 9,000 attendees and almost 1,000 downloads of this book. That came from a project planner, right? And if I didn't communicate this to my team, I wouldn't have had Emily on my team design this landing page, design the book, and then me just write it. So a lot of our success comes down to how do we communicate and break down our ideas to our team. For those of you who haven't gotten this book, it's SMBteam.com/coronavirus. And if you come to our internet marketing boot camp after, I think it's 4 p.m., we're going to have plenty of surprise guests on this, which I haven't even told almost anybody about for the internet boot camp tonight. You will be able to see how I did this in addition to how to pivot your marketing for your firm. The last thing, this is the biggest impact, right? You can get your daily routines down, right? You can get your daily habits down. You can write your goals and gratitudes every morning. You can do your project planners, and then you can still feel like a rabbit with its head cut off. I don't know if that's the analogy. But regardless, you can still feel like a chicken with its head cut off, right? So then the next thing is, what's the big picture? And the best way I've done that, I have this book next to me everywhere I go, is the book Traction from Gino Wickman. And within this book, this is where I set my big quarterly targets for my company. So basically, I'm going to show you this real quick. This is what's called our Vision Traction Organizer sheet, right? Where we list out our quarterly rocks as a company. What are our quarterly objectives? What are our core values as a company that we can make decisions on? Our number one core value is we want to be three-way winners. We want to make things that are wins for our clients, wins for our company, and wins for ourselves, right? In terms of business, right? So for example, this core value came from a lot of pain, and we always ask ourselves this question right here. And the team reviews this regularly. How can we make this a three-way win, right? Whenever we're at a hard crossroads in our business, how can we make this a three-way win? Because I'll tell you this much, and I know we all have clients that are complete headaches, right, in our practices. Think about this. Is the client always right? Oh God, no. It needs to be a win for the client, a win for you, for the company, and a win for your team's morale. So you can have a client that's a home run, but that drags down your team and, isn't profitable for the company because of the resources you invested in it, and you're not well equipped to do, med mal, underwriting cases, whatever. So I always review this. I have our 8-year target, which is to help 20,000 lawyers and 500 team members grow to their full potential. I want to receive 10% of the value I create in the marketplace which will be $2.5 billion by 2026. And I write this down every morning. And most people aren't clear about their goals because they're shameful that how big they are, right? People are afraid to admit their capacity for greatness. So these are some things, if any of you guys want follow-ups on this, either register for that internet marketing bootcamp, and I'd love to show you, let me see, am I still sharing or no? I'd love to show you some more details on how I created the coronavirus book and how you can pivot your Google Ads strategy. And we're also going to go into SEO on this internet bootcamp a little bit more in depth, and a little bit of social media as well. I want to share success stories on this internet bootcamp and really help you guys pivot your practice. So Emily, if you could share the link to the internet bootcamp in the chat, that would be awesome. Just for anyone who hasn't had it, thank you, Emily. And then also, this is going to be in all of your email inboxes. I sent it like maybe 20 minutes ago. I will see you in that internet bootcamp at 4 p.m. Eastern sharp. The last thing I'll leave you guys with is right here. If you don't have an organizational chart, you are messing yourself up. Organizational charts are the #1 reason that business owners feel stressed. It's because they feel they have to kind of wear every hat. But when you have a clear org chart that delineates people's responsibilities, whenever a problem pops up, you can always say, oh, that's so cool. That used to be my responsibility. But the reason why I have someone in this role in my company is so that they can actually solve that problem. And the biggest stress reliever I've ever found is from that org chart, combined with setting quarterly rocks that then break down into the project planners that then break down into my daily productivity planner, which again looks like this, which then dives into how I write my gratitudes and goals every morning. Thank you guys for listening to all my crazy stuff.